So let's just hop right in here. I don't normally do update videos, but the day that we finished editing the Hello Neighbor theory, I stumbled onto something huge that started to answer a lot of lingering questions that I had about this game. I didn't want to delay that video, so we put it up, but I also didn't want to wait until the next update to do a completely new theory about the thing, so here we are. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Diet Theory. It's Theory Light. In case you missed the Hello Neighbor theory, watch that first and come back here. The info there is going to be super important. So real talk, as I finished writing that theory, there was one thing that was still really nagging me. This picture. There was something more here that made my theorist sense tingle. The pose was just too specific. It felt like a clue or reference to something. But what? What is it? To give you a sense of what it's like to write these theories, when it comes to researching images, it's really hard. Reverse image searching can only get you so far, and when it's a picture referencing some other famous painting, if you don't specifically know what you're looking for, well, you're just out of luck. So knowing that biblical references were popping up everywhere in the game, we focused our search around that and started poring over just tons of images. And after doing some really deep dives, we struck gold. Loyal theorists, I present you this picture, entitled The Capture of Christ, a 13th century painting by an artist from Florence named Sanni de Pepo. Sanni de Pepo. Sanni de Pepo. It's actually really fun to say. And if it looks familiar to you, it's probably because this was also a fairly recent but not super popular meme. It was the "Do I Smell a Watermelon" meme, otherwise known as Stop That's Gay meme, which obviously begs the question, why is dis gay? Let me explain. This painting depicts one of the most famous moments from the Bible's Last Supper, the meal before Jesus is taken to get crucified. In the painting, we see one of Jesus's followers, Judas Iscariot, kissing Jesus. Das why dis gay. Now, in case you don't know, Judas is the one famous for betraying Jesus, giving him a kiss at the end of the meal to signify to the Roman guards that this is the man that they've been after. To quote from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22, while he was still speaking, a crowd arrived, led by the man called Judas, one of the 12 apostles. He approached Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus asked him, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" So why'd Judas do it? Well, some say it was for the money. He does this in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. Hashtag sellout. But according to the Gospel of Luke and the Gospel of John, the devil enters into Judas, which causes him to betray Jesus. In any of these cases, though, what we have in Judas is a man seduced by the devil to commit an unholy act. Now let's go back and look at Hello Neighbor's portrait. The neighbor is in the position of Judas, turned to the side giving the kiss. He's the one seduced by or working with the devil. Just another point to confirm this weekend's theory. But these revelations got us really excited, so we kept digging. Revelations, get it? It's the last book of the Bible. It's the one where, all hell breaks loose. Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Witty banter joking. Nope, alright, great. In the same promotional picture with the shadowy picture in Book of Faust that we analyzed over the weekend, look at what the neighbor is drinking out of. A mug with a golden bull on it. All of us over here at Theorist HQ had noticed it as an odd detail in passing, but it didn't mean much when we first saw it. But now with all these Bible references cropping up, the detail finally clicked into place. It's not just some overpriced hipster coffee mug from Williams-Sonoma. It's a reference to the Bible's infamous golden calf, as in baby cow, not lower leg muscle. So in the second book of the Bible, Exodus, God, with the help of a prophet named Moses, saves the people of Israel from slavery in Egypt because they're so faithful to him. It's a nice guy. It's like an early Christmas present. But no good deed goes unpunished because, gosh darn it, wouldn't you know it, once they have their freedom, they start to go a little wild. Just like that one all-girls Catholic school dance I went to back in 10th grade. That was an intense night. Definitely a story for another day. Anyway, while Moses is up on the mountain chatting it up with God, getting the 10 Commandments version 1.0, everyone down below gets sick of waiting and decides, hey, let's make a golden cow statue and worship that, because that's what you do for fun in a world without video games. Here are the pertinent quotes from Exodus chapter 32. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, "Come, make us gods who will go before us." Aaron answered them, "Take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing, and bring them to me." So all the people took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took what was handed him and made it into an idol cast in the shape of a calf. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go down, because your people, whom you brought out of Egypt, have become corrupt." So Moses went back to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold." So clearly God ain't too thrilled that he's been replaced by a false idol, a golden cow of all things. So you think think the golden bull mug is just a coincidence? Heck no! Just like the Judas painting, the golden calf is yet another reference to people who've been seduced by money, people who are worshiping false gods. And now that all this devil, false god stuff is cropping up, the picture of our neighbor's choice of Halloween costume takes on a whole new meaning. But seriously, mind the butt flap. Even the clown costume we covered in the theory may have some allusion to the neighbor's deal with the devil. This outfit you see him wearing isn't just any clown outfit. It's an exact replica of the costume worn by the evil clown from the movie version of Stephen King's It. Special thanks to @Fantastic18 on Twitter for pointing this out to me. Look, everything from the color to the number of frills matches. Now, while I haven't found any major biblical references in that movie or its novel, it is important to notice the clown's name, Pennywise, which is a reference to the classic British saying, penny wise and pound foolish. Basically, it's a saying that means you're someone who misses the forest for the trees, that you're so focused on what's right in front of you that you miss the bigger picture. Like, say for instance, Judas, who sells out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Sure, he makes some quick cash, but then he gets himself damned to hell for all eternity, so bummer there. Or someone else who's penny wise and pound foolish, Faust, like we covered last theory, who sells his soul to the devil for unlimited knowledge and worldly pleasures. Sure, you're gonna have a great few years living off your unlimited Diet Cokes and knowledge of how Game of Thrones ends, but when the devil comes to collect his part of the deal, well then, you're out of luck. So what does all this mean for our theory about the neighbor? Putting together the story of Faust, Isaiah 14:14, the satanic candle rituals, and the 666 on the neighbor's shoe from the last video, and the Judas picture, golden calf, and Pennywise from today, it seems like our theory is getting stronger and stronger. The neighbor appears to be a man who made a deal with the devil to help him out. But now, in the game, we see the fallout of that decision, where he's having to perform some satanic rituals in his basement with a woman and her child to fulfill his end of the deal, where he's having to bury people alive in order to satisfy the devil. Do I think he's actually the devil? No, all these references are about people taken advantage of by the devil. Our neighbor is a puppet in a much larger, much more sinister game. A game that I cannot wait to see the next update of. Who knows what Dynamic Pixels has up their sleeves, but up till now it has been a wild ride. In the meantime though, remember, it's just a theory. A diet theory. Keeping it tight. And hey, before you go, cast your vote on where you think this theory lands. Do you think the neighbor is the devil, or do you think the neighbor is working for the devil? Click on one to choose and let me know what you think. And finally, make sure you click that subscribe button because you can bet we'll be doing a whole lot more deep dives into this game. Any developer that's putting this level of attention and detail into their story is definitely one to watch out for. So you can bet that I and the whole Theorist team over here will be poring over every detail as it gets released about this game. That's why you subscribe, so you get notified. Unless, of course, YouTube decides to unsubscribe you, but that's a theory for later this week. I'll see you then.